Well, hello everyone, welcome back to the second part of the 12 volt electrical system build that I'm doing for my transit camper van. And in the last episode you would have seen me planning and building the cabinet and putting all the electrical components together, all the Victron components, and setting it all up on this electrical board that you can see behind me. Since that last video I've done a few little tweaks to it. I'll put the wood around here just to hold the battery in place. I've got some straps to go on there. I've got to screw those. I've got some little brackets to go on the ends there to put a strap across. I've drilled some holes in the side of the fuse box to get the 12 volt accessories through, so I can get them into the fuse box. One there for the shore power to come in. A few of the little bits and bobs. I've just been tidying it up really. Got the cable in. The only thing I'm not really happy about is I've got nothing to cover this at the minute. I can't find the little rubber Victron. It's like a little rubber cover. I seem to have lost it, so it's probably somewhere. I've got to find it. I've got to take the battery back off. That's why this isn't connected. I haven't connected this, but the fuse is all in. Everything's all in. Let's see if I can get it off. Yeah, the Class T fuse is in. Obviously that's not bolted on because I've got to take the battery off, because there's no way I'm moving all of that with that it all falling apart. Because that's 40 kg. If I try and carry that out, I'm going to end up snapping and breaking something. So yeah, that's now got to go in the van. Whoa. Bloody thing's heavy. I've just flipped it over and done some cable management. Just wanted to sort of like tidy up these cables. And don't want to leave anything loose, just sort of flopping about. So yeah, and I've just ground off all the little nibs of the screws. Next job is trying to sort out all my wiring that I've shoved in there, so I know what is what and where I've got to route it on that board. But first of all, I've had to pull through some 25mm squared cable, because I had 16mm in there. But the real pain in the ass was this conduit was running up there, but under a piece of floor, under that piece of floor. So I've had to get the jigsaw and jigsaw it off, look, to get this conduit, because the bend in it was like that. I couldn't pull the cable through the bend, so I've had to pull it out. And when I did it, I thought to myself, will I ever have to use this conduit again? Probably not. Once I put that 16mm cable in, I thought that I was done. But no. So I'm just installing the MIDI fuse holder now. 80 amp one is what Roma have given me to go in there. I thought it was time to move it in and sort of start positioning where the wires are going to go and get this bolted in and wired up. But it's took me ages to get to this point. I've just done that. I've just ground those screws off there. The inverter's going to be going there, so you won't see that anyway. Front's off the distributor, because I've got to put the ground in there to the chassis, to the distributor. And then I just drilled another hole down there by the Orion. I don't know if you can see it, because I've got to get that cable through it. So that's what I'm testing now. Just when I think I'm done drilling holes in this board, thinking there's no more to do, I've done them all, I found that I have to do more that I've forgotten about. I had to drill one for the shore power, one for the solar cables, and then one for the earth cable to earth these. So I've had to do that as well, make the earthing cable up for that. There's the earthing cable, but that's the only earth cable I've got, and I don't think I've got enough to do both, because I need to do both. I need to do both of those consumer units, although I'm only wiring one up for now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just putting these grounds in. I need one to the links distributor and one to the consumer unit. And luckily Ford give you this little area for grounding stuff, accessories and things. It's actually in the Ford well, I won't say manual, but I can't remember what it's called, BEIM or something like that. Right, I've got a load of cables now pushed through all the holes. I think I'm ready to try to push it back and fit it now. Just hope that it fits. I'm about ready to give up, to be honest. It's just been a right pain in the ass trying to get that in. I've got it in position, but it won't go back, I think, because the cables are in the way. Because I haven't accounted for the cables being behind the board. So I'm either going to have to space the board out a little bit with some blocks on the back, or I'm going to have to get some longer bolts. But no, I need to space it out because I can't have them cables being squashed. So I'm going to have to put some spacer blocks around the bolts, space this away from the wall of the van, and get some longer bolts, which I don't have. So I'm going to have to order some longer bolts and finish this when the longer bolts arrive. So that was me thinking I was going to get it all done on one video in like one day, and it's defeated me again. So I'll see you when I've got some more bolts and I've put some spacers on the back. Right, I'm back with what I need. I've got some ring terminals, got those instead of these, because I think these can pull out the fuse box, so they're not as secure. The ring terminals, obviously this screw goes through those in the fuse box. And I got some extra long bolts, 50mm, so they should do the job. And as you can see, I've got it all pulled out, and I've put some spacer blocks on the back. Just cut some scrap bits of wood at the old flooring and just glued them on, and then just put a screw in just to hold them in place where the glue went off. So they're all good. Bolts can go through. That should space this off here now. So what I've been doing is I've just been terminating, putting ring terminals and everything, ready to feed it all in. I've just got this, well, I've got about 3 more to do. Right, I've been busy doing some more electrics. It feels like I've gone back to first fix electrics almost. I've started running more cables, for more appliances, more things I'm thinking about I want to add, and I'm just deciding I want to try and get it all done now before I put this board back in, because I've got to get it all done really, because I don't really want to have to pull this out again, although probably going to have to for the inverter. I think I said that in the last video if you've watched part 1. But for now I've just got to try and get what I can in. So as you can see, I've started wiring up the 230, 240 volt. Well, not wiring up, but running the cables, because I hadn't run them previously. I just had the one coming from, well, you can't see it, but well, you can't see. I had a socket up above the bench seat over there. You can't see, it's a mess in the van. The van's looks like a bomb's gone off in it. And I just had that here. I hadn't really thought any further about it, but then I realised I've got to then connect that to a socket. As you can see, that's running all the way along there. Right, my phone's ringing now, hold on a minute. Right, where were we? I was talking about the 230, 240 volt wiring that I'm running. That's what I was discussing a minute ago, wasn't I? Before I got rudely interrupted by the occupational therapist. Yeah, I've had a lot going on. Mum's not been, she's not been well for a while. She's actually got Alzheimer's, so I've been looking after her every day for the last 12 months. It's been quite challenging, and obviously there's a lot of phone calls and doctor's appointments. I just took her to doctor's appointment this morning. That's why I'm struggling to get stuff done on my van, to be honest, because I was going to do something this morning. I was going to start early, and yeah, it's a bit difficult to get a full day, or even sometimes just a few hours done, because she needs a lot of attention. But anyway, we'll discuss that another time. Yeah, so I think I was saying I'm running this. That's the one from the top socket. I hadn't thought about how I needed to run this, but yeah, you've got to basically link all the sockets together. So because I'm going to have a socket here, I'm going to have a socket up in the kitchen area up there. So I've basically had to run the socket up in the top above the bench seat area. That's this cable, so that's running all along the bed frame for now. That'll go into this socket, and then that one will go into that socket, and then the feed, the power, will run along there, and that's going in the back there, and that'll be connected into the consumer units. So I just thought it was best to get those cables run now, really, to be honest. Get as much as I can done. It's a lot more than I was planning on doing. I was just going to fit that 12 volt system in, but I just thought while it's out I might as well get on with loads of other bits and bobs and just get as much as I can get wired up. But you think you've done it, and then you realise you want to add more stuff. Like, I've got some 4.5mm cable here. I've run some of that because I'm going to be putting my fridge here, so I've run that. I've now terminated that at the end there to go into the fuse box, and now I'm also now running another cable because I'm thinking of putting up one of those Sirocco fans up there somewhere, and that's a 12 volt feed as well to those, so I'm going to run a cable for that now. That's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. Well, I've just terminated that, and now I've got to run this cable, which is still on the reel, all the way back there, and then tie it up somewhere, tidy it up there, probably run it in with the fridge cable that's running under that beam. But what I do plan on doing is I'll be putting some wood, probably a wood trim here. So I might put this you know, AC cable, I might put that on the wood trim. I might just leave it on there, I don't know yet. I wasn't planning on putting it on them beams, but that was the best solution I could come up with right now. And I've pretty much done all the termination on here and all of these. I think I'm done. Just got to run the Sirocco fan cable. I think I might be done, except for I'm going to need a power feed to my auto-term diesel heater. I've got that. I've got all the loom. I meant to look this morning before I came to see what sort of wiring I needed to put in place for that, but I had to sort of rush my mum to the doctor's for an appointment this morning because she had a bad leg and she's been on antibiotics, and it was kind of one of those, you know, I phoned up this morning to get her an appointment, and then they said bring her in today and look at her. So I dropped all of that and just went and did that, took her to the doctor's, and then forgot that I needed to check that, and just came straight to my mum's and started working on the van. And now I realise I needed to check the wiring loom for the heater to see how it's connected, you know, see if I need to run a feed or whether it goes directly to the fuse box or what. I don't even know. I can't remember. I only looked at it once when I first got it. So I need to double check that, and if I do, I need to put that in first before I put this board back, don't I, really? So get the loom in maybe, because I've got an idea where I'm putting the heater, but again, not even sure where I'm putting that yet, but it goes under the van. So it's the sort of jobs you can't do because you feel like you need to do something else first. Like, I could go and fit the heater next, finish all this, and then realise I've got to pull all this back out just to put one cable in. I don't want to put the cables in from the front of the fuse box, if you know what I mean. I want them beyond the back and coming through the back of the fuse box, through the board, so it's tidy, because that's just how I want to do it. So yeah, everything just seems to be taking forever. Right, I've started to get some of the 12 volt appliances into the fuse box. I've run the positive wire through these cables and the negatives through those ones. Not sure if that was the right way or the best way, but that's how I did it. But what I have decided to do, look, is as I'm wiring them up, I've decided to use white electrical tape to put over the fuse box cover, and I'm writing what they are on there because the stickers that they supply don't have what I need written on them. So that was my idea. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a squashed space. I think if I was to give somebody some advice, I'd probably say do your electrics before you put your bed in, because it's a little tight and it's quite awkward to do. You really want plenty of space, really, to be able to do this kind of stuff. So fiddly this can be. Right, we're on a new day. I had to order some more cables I had to order some cable for my diesel heater, some cable for my water heater or calorifier. It's hard to say, isn't it? And what else have I had to order? Oh yeah, I had to order some more. What did I order the other day? Oh yeah, I've ordered some switches which I haven't used yet. Oh, and then I've had to order some an extension for the GX Touch, the Victron GX Touch screen, because the HDMI cable that comes with it and the USB isn't long enough to plug into the Turbo GX. So then I've had to run another cable so I can do a USB port up by the kitchen. So I'll have to plug the wire in the USB from the GX Touch. I'll have to plug it in there rather than into the Turbo GX, because it won't reach, and I don't really want to extend the USB because I think it might lose power. And I did have a quick look online, and some people said they had some problems with doing that. So I've decided not to do that, so I've just run another wire for that. I've had to run a few extra wires for other stuff as well. It seems never ending. Every time I think I'm done, I'm just running more wires. I've just finished putting all the stuff into the fuse box, which again feels like I'm always doing that. I think I've probably said that about 3 times on this video. Oh, I finished it, or I've nearly finished it. But yeah, let me show you what I've done. Right, as you can see, I've got everything in there, but I'm not too happy with the writing on here. It's just too hard to write on there. So I'm going to have to see if I can find a solution to that. Maybe see if I can get some sort of blank stickers or something. I don't know. I'll have to have a look online and see if there's anything I can get. There must be something. But it's not hard to do, is it? I've only got to take the covers off, so I can do them. So they're alright for now. At least I know where everything is. I've got a couple of spares. I've got one spare there, one spare there. I did have the USB in there, and then my OCD got the better of me, and I realised I had all the USBs in here, and I thought I can't just have all the USBs here and one USB up there. And I realised I'd done most of the lights up there. I have got a solution for the labelling on the fuse box covers. I sent a message to a friend of mine, and he came back with a good solution. He's actually now lent me a label machine, a brother machine for labelling. So thanks, brother. This, I think I need a degree to be able to use this. Even he said it was quite complicated. So I've got to try and figure out how to use this. But like I said, it's not really an issue, is it? It's not going to stop me doing anything. So I can do this anytime. The next job though is to get these get this Arctic cable in. This 3-core cable for the mains power, shore power, 230, 240 volt, whatever you'd like to call it. And I've also got some at the top. You may have noticed though, I had to put a bit of shrink wrap on, because as I was trying to cut through that really carefully, because I don't have a wire stripper to go through it, I use a Stanley blade. I did nick the cables, the insulation. So I've just put some heat shrink over it. I keep calling it shrink wrap. Is it heat shrink? It's heat shrink, isn't it? Not shrink wrap. And I've done the same up there. So I think I should wire those into this consumer unit. And for now, I'm just going to bring shore power in to here, and then just have this go into the sockets for now. So if I do use a hookup, which I never really do, to be honest, I've never had an electrical hookup ever. I rarely use campsites either, so, but you never know. And also what I've done is I've actually carpeted just a bit of extra carpet over the top of here, just to give this a little bit more protection, because if this earth cable goes back in, just in case any of it touches, so it won't be rubbing on anything. I have got it carpeted and insulated anyway, but I've just put another bit over the top. I've done the same up there, and I've done the same over there, look. I know it's just me. These little extras is what take me so long to do jobs, because I think of all these little things. I think, I just want to make sure that no cables can rub or anything on there, because there's not really anything you can do with these cables. You can't really tidy them up. Pardon me. You can't really tidy them up. there's not really a lot you can do, because once you push that back, you can try and tuck them in as much as you can, but what can you really do with it? Not a lot, unless anyone's got any ideas. It's now time to try and get it pushed back and bolted in and get the battery in. Right, I'm happy enough that that's solidly bolted. I've got 5 bolts, 1, 2, 3 and 2 on the other side where the inverter's going to be, and that is nicely solid to the van. So now it's time to get the battery in. I don't know if you can see that, but I've got some insulation on there. Look, put a bit of insulation on there, 10mm thermoliner. But now I've got to try and wrestle this battery in this tiny space. So I've got no leverage, I can't lift it because I've got no leverage at all. So I've got no idea how I'm going to do it, because last time it was absolute pain in the arse because it's so heavy that you can't really lift it. You can't use the handles, so you've got to sort of get underneath it like that and then manhandle it up. Oh god, it's hard. Because it's 40 kg and you haven't got much space to lift it with, so you can't get any strength into it. The problem is it slides in place. Oh god, I'm so squashed in here. So much easier if the bed weren't in here. But I've now got to try and do it. I'll try and lift it so it don't. Ow! Ouch! He ripped a freaking nail off. I'm trying to lift it because what it does is it drops in and you can't get this end in. So you've got to lift this end. It doesn't want to go in. There we are. So now I've just got to strap it down. That's the bit I hate the most though, getting that in and out. That's why I didn't really want to have to take this all out again, but yeah, I'm going to have to take it out at some point to fit the inverter. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If you're interested in one of these Roma batteries, I'll put a link down in the description. As I'm a brand ambassador, I can give you a 5% discount by using my link. And if you want to know more about these batteries, if you watch part 1, if you haven't already watched it, I talk more about Roma and why I chose Roma at the beginning of the video, so go and check that out if you haven't already watched it. Right, the battery's nice and secure. Got 2 straps on it. It's held in anyway by these wooden support rails I've put in so it don't move around. And I've just put these on just to keep it strapped down to that. Now it's time to put on the battery terminals. So we're going to get these on. And what's the bet? I haven't got the right socket with me. No, 17 I think that is. So I need to go and get a 17mm socket for that. But this one is just a negative terminal. Is that straight? The thing is, I don't know how tight these are supposed to go, if they're supposed to be tucked up or not. I'll have to ask Roma. For now, I need to go and get a 17mm socket and I'll tighten that up. Well, that took me about 10 minutes to find the bloody socket. I always say to myself, put it back in your toolbox after yourself. And I never do. I always think, oh, I remember where I've put it, because I need it again. So I just got to check that I can get this on. No, that way. The cover. It only just goes on if that's slightly at an angle. About there, I think it is. Yeah. So I don't really want to. And once this goes on, the earth one. I don't really know how to secure this, to be honest. It gives you a tie wrap around it, but it just sort of sits in place. I don't suppose it's going to move, is it? But right, I think that we're ready to go. I've got to put some fuses in the fuse boxes, but I've put one in for the kitchen USB. Well, I think it's a kitchen USB, because I've labelled every single one apart from this one, and it doesn't say kitchen USB anywhere, so it must be that one. I think it was the last one I put in. So I've put a fuse in there and hope it's that one, because I need to label it anyway, because I need to power up the Victron Touch 70 screen. So I think we just need to turn it all on now and see what we get. Put the solar on and I guess we wait for it all to sort of connect up. I have configured it in the app. I mean, we can go into the Roma battery and then that will show you the battery once it's connected. There we go. And I've got 4.87 amps coming in, which that will be from the solar, because I've just turned the solar on. And you can see down there actually that it's the bulk lights on. I think when it's full, it will go on to float, I believe. So going to the Victron Connect, it should connect everything up. There we go, we've got 75 watts at the moment. It is cloudy, there's no sun, but the battery's on 99% anyway. So now I just want to go and check the screen on the Turbo GX and see if that's working. Well, it is working. I should probably read all this, to be honest. If I need to know any of this, I can go back on my video and watch it. I did it in the end, but yeah. Oh yeah, that must be it there. That must be the solar lot. It's all there, 99% on the battery as well. Right, I'll have to have a little play around with this and see what's what, because I've got no idea how to use it. But my plan for that is to put it up there somewhere. Maybe there or there, somewhere there anyway. That's why I had to buy an extension cable, because it wouldn't reach. So basically what I've had to do is I've just quickly wired up a USB, which will be going on there somewhere. Got the extension cable plugged in, so I can get that working, just so I can see it working. So all I need to do now is contact Roma, book a time slot with those so they can then set up my system for me, because they should be able to set up all my Turbo GX, because I've no idea what needs setting up on that. Seems to be all working though, doesn't it? I did go in and do a brief configuration on the MPPT app and the Orion, just to make sure they were lithium battery on the, because I don't know what they are default. Somebody told me that they're lithium by default, but when I went in they were AGM, I think, if I can remember rightly. So I wanted to just change all those to make sure that it was all proper lithium charging, but with all the voltages and stuff for the battery, as in like when the DC to DC charger comes on and off, that's all got to be set. I have done it to what I think is correct, but I'm no expert, so I'd rather let Roma do all that. So yeah, I think we're good. I think we're done. I think I've finally finished part 2 of the video. It just feels like I've done it in so many different bits and bobs, because I've had to keep ordering bits and stopping and doing another bit. But there we have it, guys. It's all done, and I'm so happy. I couldn't be more happy with what I've done, to be honest. I am over the moon with that. I've done all that myself. I am actually so happy, because it was such a daunting thing to do. So I'm going to wrap this video up there. If you have any questions, just pop them down below and I'll do my best to answer them and help you any way I can. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel for the rest of the van build, and adventures once it's all done, and adventures in between as well, because I do plan on doing some more adventures. I've got some things planned already. I want to go and do something. I've got something planned with a friend of mine, Paul from Just Out Adventures. He's organising a meet-up for Transit Mark 8 owners, so I'm definitely going to go and check that out and go and see what the people are doing with their vans, and just see if I can get some inspiration, because there's some things I'm still a bit like, don't know how to do that quite, still thinking about it. So yeah, so I'll see you on that one. See you later, bye.